If you've read more than one Romantasy book, you've probably run into the fated mate trope. If you've read more than 2, you probably run into telepathic bonds. And if you've read more than 3, then you've probably had a book with both of them. And if you're like me, you probably have some questions like, why is this the new default for every Romantasy book in the genre? Is there a factory somewhere assigning all of these soulmates? Because if so, can I speak to your manager? I have some notes. I sound like a Karen, don't I? Okay, before we start asking questions, I do want to acknowledge that I totally understand the fated mates idea. It's appealing. I get it. I really do. Like the idea that somewhere out there, the universe has picked that one person just for you. That person just gets you completely. Like you never have to worry about them cheating. You never have to worry about them swiping right on someone else. I mean, yeah, that sounds amazing. It's like the opposite of everything I encountered in my 20s. There's no more bad first dates. There is no more, let's keep it casual. There's no more wondering if he's ever gonna text you back. The universe just handles it, like a cosmic matchmaker who knows what they're doing. So yeah, on paper, fated mates is the dream. Now with all that said, let me tell you why it drives me insane. Problem number 1. It kills tension. For most books these days, you know from just reading the back cover who's going to end up with who. So the author has to manufacture some kind of tension to keep things interesting, right? Usually that comes in the form of enemies to lovers. And you know, that keeps the book going for a bit, but then boom, one of those fated mates bonds just snaps together. They are now cosmically destined. And for the rest of the series, which is probably like 4 or 5 more books, the tension is gone. The surprises are gone, the drama is gone. And sure, it's cute, they love each other, good for them. But what about me? I didn't sign up to read about an old married couple for 6 more books. I signed up for chaos. I signed up for uncertainty. I signed up for a book that I will stay up until 3 a.m. on a work night, just yelling at my screen. But now that they're fated and everything just works out right, do you remember like 10 years ago when every book had a love triangle? There was the tension, there was uncertainty. Everyone had a team that they were rooting for. You were either Team Edward or Team Jacob. And if you're not Team Edward, then who are you? And just like I just did, there's now something to argue about with people. You can go to your friends, and if they are Team Jacob, you're like, can we still be friends after this? I don't know. I mean, as much as it was overdone, there is just something there that I kind of miss. I miss that uncertainty of wondering who she's going to end up with. But these days we just have one option. Why? Because the universe said so. And I miss the love triangles. I miss the options. I miss screaming at my book, no, not him, pick anyone but him. And the universe took that away from us, and I want it back. Problem number 2, it removes choice. Now, I don't want to get too sappy, but you know, love is meaningful because you choose that other person. You meet them, you know all of their flaws, all of the things that annoy you about them, but yet you still choose them. You still say, like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And fated mates removes that entirely. Like the universe picks for you, you don't pick them. Actually, the universe assigned them to you. That's not really romantic anymore. That's like a group project in school. And what if your fated mate is annoying? Like, what if they chewed their mouth open? What if they're a morning person and you're a night owl and they wake you up every morning way too early? That would drive me crazy. What if they smell a little funky? All those things you never really think about when you think about the one that's fated for you. And sure, you can wrap it all in a bow and say, you know, the universe knows what you want, so they would never assign you to someone that smells a little funky, right? But what if the universe was wrong? Actually, that would be a really good book plot. You know, like the universe assigns you to this person, you feel that bond there, and you're like, ugh, are you sure about this one? Because I'm not. I'm sure that book already exists, but if it doesn't, you have my permission to write it because I would read it. Problem number 3, the instant recognition that happens with these bonds. In most of the books where the fated mate bond exists, you usually are just doing your own thing, doing day-to-day tasks, and all of a sudden, bam, it snaps into place, and you know that person over there is someone you're fated to be with. Like your body reacts, your magic reacts, something snaps, crackles, or pops. And all of a sudden, you know you have a soulmate. And you know, in real life, that never happens, obviously. Instead, you know, we go on dates, and maybe at the 3rd date, you're like, actually, you're kind of cool. You know, that love grows very gradually and awkwardly and with a lot of uncertainty. In Romantasy, that bond snaps into place immediately, and you know that person is your soulmate. But one of the intrusive thoughts that I always think about when reading these things is, what if that bond snaps into place at the worst possible time? What if you're at the grocery store in like sweatpants and you haven't washed your hair in 3 days, and all of a sudden you know that person looking at pizza in the frozen food aisle is your soulmate? Do you go up to them looking like you do? I wouldn't want to go up to my soulmate looking like garbage, right? Sure, fated mates are a thing. I can live with it. It's fine. But the telepathic bond that sometimes happens when you have fated mates, that is a trope that I cannot stand. And sure, obviously there are upsides to having a telepathic bond with your mate. And also, the word mate is just, I don't like it. Let's stop using it. But sure, there are upsides to having a telepathic bond. There's no miscommunication anymore because they hear what's going on in your head. You always know that they're safe because you have that mental connection with them, or you know if they're not safe. It's really important in those books where they have the battle scenes happening, because then you always know what's going on with the other person. But outside of the Romantasy world, you really need to think about how terrible having a telepathic bond would be. First of all, your privacy is gone. Gone. Donezo. It's never happening again. Every single thought you have from now on is shared with that other person. I already live with my partner. I don't really want him in my head too. I don't need him to know what I'm thinking when I say I'm fine and he says, "Are you sure you're fine?" And I say, "Yes, I'm fine." Obviously, I'm not fine, but I don't want him to know that because I don't want to talk about it. And if you've ever been in a long-term relationship, you know it's better for everyone if we all have some space every now and then. Certain thoughts just shouldn't be shared, okay? It's not dishonesty, it's survival. It's making your relationship last. So let's say you're walking down the street and you see this attractive guy and you just admire his biceps. It was just a passing thought you had in your brain for half a second, but your partner heard that and now he's spiraling about whether he should go to the gym more often. What if you have like an internal debate about whether you like his haircut? You haven't even decided if you like it or not, but he's subconsciously rubbing his head and wondering if he should go back and get it redone. The books only mention the moments where the telepathic bond comes in handy, like epic battles and emotional connection and like tender moments like that. But like, what about the other 23 hours in the day? What if you have a song stuck in your head and you only know that one line and you keep repeating that one line in your head over and over again? It would drive him crazy. Can you put your bond on do not disturb mode? These are the questions we should be asking. And what about all of your anxiety thoughts? If you're anything like me, your brain does not think rational, calm thoughts. Your brain is constantly thinking, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? Or, you know that moment 3 years ago when I said that weird, awkward comment? Are people still laughing at me because of that? Probably. He'd probably be like, "Babe, I love you, but your brain has been running a horror movie marathon in your head for the last 24 hours. Can we take a break?" My partner and I have been together for 10 years. I love this man. I'm very grateful to have him in my life. But I also love it when he goes on a trip for a few days and I have the house all to myself. Like for those couple of days, I get to be alone again. I get to live in a clean house again. I can eat cereal for dinner, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, actually. And I can just exist in silence without anyone else's presence besides my dogs. But now just imagine, he's not just living in your house with you. He's now living in your brain with you. There's no trip that is far enough away. There's no room that you can go into to escape each other. There is no more me time. You are now mentally connected to that person for eternity. I know I said a lot of terrible things about fated mates, telepathic bonds, and romantasy books in general. But despite all of the weird questions that I ask and my petty annoyances, obviously I'm still going to read these books. I still find them enjoyable. Is it realistic? Absolutely not. Would it be a nightmare in practice? Most definitely. But does it still make me feel things in my heart when I'm wrapped in bed in a blanket reading at 3 a.m.? Sure, yeah, it does. So tell me, have you ever thought about these things? Is this something that you play in your mind over and over again too? If so, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, I have plenty more where that came from because I have a lot of questions and someone has to ask them. So subscribe so you don't miss any of those coming up. I'll see you in the next one.